After having been away for a few weeks, including a week at the Shalom Hartman Institute program in Jerusalem for rabbinic training, I am back, and it is at an auspicious time in the Jewish calendar and also what is happening in the world around us today. Tremendous tragedy in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio, and a drive-by shooting at a synagogue in Miami last month. And in the Jewish calendar, we're approaching this coming Saturday night, the annual fast day that commemorates the destruction of the temples in Jerusalem, the day known as Tisha B'Av, the ninth day of the Hebrew month of Av, a day that is associated not just with the destruction of the temples, but also with the expulsion of the Jews from Spain in 1492 and many other tragedies that have befallen us as the Jewish people throughout Jewish history. The rabbis explain that the reason for the destruction of the temple is because of sinat chinam, random hatred. That is, the Jewish community itself was so divided in and among themselves that they couldn't be united in face of the tyranny of the Roman Empire and in how to respond religiously to issues that were facing them at the time. And that had the Jewish community been united in love, then they would have been able to withstand all manner of tragedies, all manner of events. And how much more so does that lesson from 2,000 years ago resonate with us today? Just understand we need to realize that there is such a deep level of hatred that has been tapped from on high in our country that that is just so revealing about how willing people are to hate one another and how hard and challenging it is for people to overcome that basic human instinct of hatred, how hard it is to overcome that and to actually love one another. It needs to that message of love needs to come down from the leadership to everyone in our country so that it can be reiterated over and over again that we need to love one another, and with love we can overcome all things. The book that we read from the Bible on Tisha B'Av is called Echa, which means it's a poetic way to say how. How could this happen? And so we understand how these terrible events happen, but the other how is how are we going to overcome? How are we going to reach down within ourselves to tap into the love that is in us, to be able to share that love with each other and make our society much better than it is? Shabbat Shalom.